Hi, my name is Cold Beer and let's start with Creepy Tale. This is a hand-drawn short adventure game with creepy and at the same time lovely illustrations. Here suddenly everything turns into horror and drags you into a series of terrible events. Your brother has been kidnapped and you are left face to face with an ominous forest filled with dangers and strange creatures. You will have to solve the puzzles that you meet on the way. Do not let yourself be caught and save your brother. Also find out the dark story that befell the once calm and peaceful forest, turning it into a creepy place filled with evil. And by saying evil, I don't mean pineapple on pizza or in potato salad level of evil. Nothing is that evil. People are saying that this game is charming and will suffice as a bedtime story before you sleep. It's only 2.5 hours long, in other words, short enough to keep your attention the whole time. Hades. This is one of the most known action RPG roguelite games in our universe. So here your goal is to avoid dying, but the game mechanics are made in a way that you will die a lot and those deaths will make you stronger. That is the beauty of Hades. Instead of raging when your protagonist dies, you are happy and then you try again and again because it's very fun, or because you are some kind of masochist. Let's be fair, it's probably because of that, and it's okay, I don't judge. Untitled Goose Game. Ever wanted to be an evil goose? No? Well, you should, because you can be a menace to society not only being human that you are. Here you'll make your way around town, setting up ranks, stealing hats, honking a lot, and generally ruining everyone's day. This is a nice and funny puzzle game. And also, if you ever feel alone, you can play co-op with your mother-in-law, and that's how there will be 2 evil geese. The more the merrier, right? If you love making people suffer, this game is definitely for you. Papetura. This is a handcrafted puzzle-adventure game made entirely out of paper. Along with atmospheric music, it creates a mysterious and unique paper world shrouded in shadow and light. Here you will live the story of a lonely paper creature trapped in a flowery prison. One day you manage to escape and find a magical being. Together you will have to face dark and flaming monsters, which will try to burn down your beloved paper world. The game is short, it will take only about 2 hours to beat. Here everything is made out of paper, from tiny insects, strange creatures and monsters to truly magical locations. You will also encounter interesting puzzles and beautiful animation. Game is suitable for everyone. There are no dialogues, just story and action. Pilgrims. Do you know about Samorost and Machinarium? It is another creation of the developers who made these wonderful games, and Pilgrims kinda look like a wonderful game as well. So don't doubt it, I forbid. You'll roam the land as you please and make new friends, share love with your fellow travelers and help them complete their little stories your way. How many different solutions can you find? This game is meant for playing, not for beating it. It's the journey, not the destination. Game is packed with 45 achievements and amazing music, and just look at this price, looks cute and friendly for your wallet. Alfred Hitchcock, Vertigo. It's really hard to say anything about this game and keep my short review spoilers free, but I will try my best. So here you are a person and you do things in the world, and there are adventures and dialogues, and things happen. There, a true spoiler-free review. I'm just kidding. Anyway, jokes aside, this is an original story about obsession, manipulation and madness, inspired by Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece Vertigo. You will experience a powerful narrative paying tribute to the visual and storytelling techniques of the thriller genre. You will investigate what happened through the vision of 3 characters. Everyone has a different story to tell, and in the end all the pieces will come together solving a terrible mystery. Along the way you will explore several timelines to cross-check the events and separate reality from deceptive memories. You know, reality is sometimes worse than madness. Thymesia. This is a dark fantasy action RPG with fast-paced combat and an interesting plague weapon system. In a kingdom where death rules, you will play as a mysterious character known by the codename Corvus. And as always, you are the kingdom's final hope, blah blah, the fate of the land is resting in your hands, and so on. You know, also it's a short game. It is possible to beat it in 6 hours, but hey, let's be fair and square and triangle. It ain't gonna happen unless you are a god of gamepad. Also, if you like tea with thymes, then you are strong and this game needs you. The Hand of Merlin. This is a turn-based roguelite RPG in which a famous legend about King Arthur clashes with a sci-fi horror. You'll explore a medieval setting on the brink of apocalypse, trade with merchants, improve your heroes and unearth ancient relics. And by doing that, search for the lost fragments of your soul scattered across the multiverse and save as many worlds as you can. As you jump from one dimension to the next, history is reshaped and it gives real deepness to this game. People on Steam are saying that the game is hard and pushing, but in a good way. You actually learn a lot from your failures here, not like in real life. Although people also say that the game fancies to crash, especially during the combat, and that may be infuriating. Narita Boy. This is a retro-futuristic game where you are Narita Boy, a legendary digital hero in an epic quest of simultaneous dimensions. The digital kingdom is under attack and you are the last hope of survival, so you will have to explore a vast world to find a techno sword, the only effective weapon against the enemy. That sounds nuts and also really cool. You can even ride a floppy disk. How cool is that? Although the least favorite part for almost everyone is platforming. Most of the players agree that dying by just jumping is way more common than dying from some monster, and that irritates a lot of people. Also, the story sounds cooler than it actually is. Yes, Your Grace. In this kingdom management RPG, petitioners will arrive in the throne room each turn to ask for your advice and assistance. You will have to decide whether to help them with their problems or to conserve resources for more important matters. Your supplies are limited and not everyone has the kingdom's best interest at heart. You will not be alone in this task. You will hire generals, witches and hunters to aid your kingdom, prepare for battles and make alliances by satisfying the needs of lords and other kings. The game makes you feel like a real king, although it is a bit depressing. You know, many of your choices have grim consequences and you are personally responsible for all of that. Book of Demons. It is a surprisingly good game, ignored by many just because of how it looks. It has great lighting effects, but those paper figures are definitely not for everyone. Anyway, here you can decide the length of the quests, wield magic cards instead of weapons and slay armies of darkness in the dungeon below the old cathedral. Yeah, I bet you heard that somewhere. Book of Demons has great replayability with a variety of combinations, interesting art direction, and fast, non-boring gameplay. Although some are saying that the game can become a bit monotonous. But I'm pretty sure that it can happen because of the skills and spells you use. If your build is not fun enough, you will get not enough fun. Simple, right? So Google some nice builds before you play. Let there be a bit of Book of Demons among big boobed MILFs in your search history. Terraria. The game is way more than just a flat version of Minecraft. Terraria is so much more beautiful, with more special effects and more dynamic fights. You can craft hundreds of items, build houses or even castles in any form you desire. Yes, even in that one you are thinking about.
Castle of Boob?
Yes, the Castle of Boob. Here you'll have to survive dangerous nights, defeat waves of enemies and dig down below to encounter some unspeakable horrors. Yeah, really, some of them are really difficult to describe, although don't play it alone. Play it with your wife, brother, friend or mother-in-law. You will enhance the experience many times. Blasphemous. This game is a true work of art. I don't think that any of you will argue with me about that. Art-wise, this is one of the best examples of Metroidvania and Souls genre collision. Interesting thing is that the major influence of Blasphemous' story and design was the religious art of the city of Seville in Spain, and also works of famous Spanish painters, especially Francisco Goya and his 200-year-old painting called A Procession of Flagellants. If you want some nightmares before bed, just Google Goya's paintings. They are as great as they are creepy. The game has incredible dynamic music and amazing voice acting. And now, thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!